Hello, everybody, and welcome to the monthly Oracle Wisdom for August 2025. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards have to tell us about the energies for the month ahead. The way I do the monthly readings is we do pick a pile. I have 3 piles here. I have not looked at them yet. I will look at them at the same time that you're seeing the cards, and I have some crystals on each of the piles. So I will show you those and you can pick whichever one resonates with you the most, and that will be the card or the pile for your reading for this week. And listen, if there's 2 crystals that you really resonate, there's probably messages in both of those readings for you. For anyone that is watching this before Friday, the 1st of August, Gemini Rising is back on the Natalie Sadie YouTube channel. We have medium Mary Elizabeth joining us at 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. If you're watching this after the 1st of August, just know that the recording is there under the live stream section, so that will be available for you. And also, we have Jasmine Safi, who created the Rainbow Oracle. I've been using that a bit in my weekly readings recently. I confirmed with her last night, so we have her joining us on the 13th of August. So she's phenomenal in everything that she does. So we are going to be speaking with her then. So there's some other awesome people we have lined up for Gemini Rising. So make sure you're subscribed to the Natalie Sadie channel so that you can see all of that. And I just finished filming a really incredible episode or interview, I should say, with Lisa Sunny talking about domestic violence and specifically how people find themselves trapped in those relationships. So whether you're someone who has experienced that and you couldn't understand how you got there, that is there for you. And if you're someone who hasn't experienced it but want to understand, just so that you can have greater compassion and empathy for what other people are going through, this is going to be the conversation for you to watch. All right, so with all of those updates out of the way, let's get into it. So pile number 1 is my Labradorite owl, and can't quite catch the flashes, but so my little owl here is pile number 1. Pile number 2, we have shungite. Pile number 3, we have some raw granite from Rockport, Massachusetts. Okay, so take a moment, close your eyes, take a breath, and have a think about the crystals that you just saw. Labradorite owl, the black shungite, or the granite. And we are going to get started with pile number 1. Okay, so for those of you that picked pile number 1, which is our Labradorite owl, yep, she's determined not to show me her flashes today. You can see, oh, there we go. So for those of you that picked the owl, let's get into this reading. So we're starting with the Future Higher Self Oracle by Mahrukh. Give yourself some credit for how far you've come. It's very easy when we're moving through life and when we're trying to make changes for it to feel like we are stuck and we are treading water. And while I don't believe in living in the past, sometimes you have to take a moment to pause and look backwards to be able to see how far you have come. And this is one of those moments where you need to have a look and really recognize the strides that you have made and the movements that you have made. And maybe you're not exactly where you want to be or where you're aiming to be, but you need to give yourself credit for where you are and how far you've come, because the reality is with every step that you take, you're getting that little bit closer to the end goal. Next card out is change your perspective of the people that are around you and keep an open mind. So you may find yourself surrounded with people who you thought were your biggest supporters, and maybe maybe they're not. Maybe they're not the cheerleaders that you thought that they were or that they tell you that they are. Um, Alternatively, you may find that there are people sitting on the periphery of your life, you know, friends or acquaintances, but they're not really in the inner circle, that have a lot more to offer and want to be there for you. So it may be a moment to let those people in. I remember going when I did The Bachelor, there was a particular woman, we were very good friends. She was one of the bookers at the modeling agency that I was with, and we had a whole plan for how we were going to sort of attack my career when I came off the show. And I thought she would be one of my biggest cheerleaders. And she just wasn't. Instead of supporting me and acting out the plan that we had in place, she picked me apart every week that the episodes came on. She would tell me everything that I did wrong, everything that I wore that she thought was wrong or the wrong choice for me to make. In the meantime, there were other friends that I had and had had for a long time, but they were distant friends. You know, they're sitting there and we would catch up occasionally, always happy to see each other, but we wouldn't make the effort to call each other and to really make time. And those people seemed in those moments to really step up, and those friendships are still going strong. The woman that was working at the agency, that friendship ended up falling apart. So sometimes you have to have an open mind, be prepared to let go of what doesn't serve you. And it doesn't, in those moments, it shouldn't take away from the incredible memories that you have created together, but maybe it's just time to move on. The other thing is, if the reason somebody hasn't been in the inner circle because maybe there's a judgment around choices that they've made or who they are or how they present themselves to the world, maybe those are things that you need to let go of. The sacrifices you make today will be worth it. This for me comes back to the very first card. Give yourself some credit for how far you've come. When you're working towards something, we often have to make sacrifices to get to the end goal. And it can be very difficult and very challenging because we have life pressures, we have family pressures, we just have things in life that we're expected to do. But sometimes there are moments where you do need to sacrifice. Maybe it's you're giving up your weekends to build this business that you want or to create this new life for yourself. Just know that whatever it is you're needing to sacrifice and whatever it is you're choosing to sacrifice, and especially if people are getting in your head and telling you that you're doing the wrong thing, just know that if you know this is where you're meant to be going, it is all worth it. Don't fear a blank canvas. Use it to turn your life into a masterpiece. So this month is all about where you're going, how you're setting yourself up for it, and what it is you're creating. It is time to focus on those dreams. And this is why the people that we're surrounded by is so important, because you are a product of those that you spend your time with. My mum always used to say, if you lie with dogs, you get fleas. And I didn't understand that saying until I was in the abusive relationship that I have referenced many times before. But I remember sitting with the people that he was friends with and knowing who he was and thinking, I'm not enjoying this at all. And the moment I broke free of that relationship, the caliber of people that I was spending my time with drastically shifted for the better in a really, really positive way. And this is why I think it's so important to just be aware of the people that are around you and that you are spending your time with this month. Maybe it's just time to take inventory. And again, it doesn't mean there needs to be ugly endings, but it may mean that you distance yourself from certain people just to create the space so that you can do what it is you need to do to create this masterpiece. To rise, you must let go of fear. So there's some trepidation in terms of what it is you're stepping into and what it is you're creating. But ultimately, in order to have the best possible result, you have to take that leap. You have to trust that the universe is going to catch you. You have to trust that your gut telling you what it is you're creating and what it is you want to create is correct and that you are on the right path. And when you let go of the fear, everything else will fall into place. We are moving on to messages from Spirit Oracle. It's another Mahrukh deck. Inevitable endings, dead end, major transition. You are currently in a toxic situation and continuing to replay the same story will not lead to anything positive. It's time to move on. You know deep down that this is not your story. So maybe there are relationships ending this week. Maybe it's not just about distancing, but this is the whole thing. When you are creating something new, it's like a snake shedding its skin. It is whenever there is change and evolution, there is something that has to be let go of. When the snake sheds its skin, it leaves that skin behind. And if you're in the wild, you can sometimes find that snake skin attached to an old fallen tree or some twigs because the snakes will rub themselves along it to help remove that dead skin. When a caterpillar, when it's time for it to morph into the butterfly, it goes into the cocoon, it lets go of the caterpillar body, and it actually turns into goo before this beautiful flying butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. So whenever there is major transition, there are going to be endings. And I feel like that's where a lot of the fear is coming in because it's human nature to want to hang on to the safety net, to hang on to the things that we know because knowing there is a safety in knowing what's going on. But just know that things end for a reason because it allows space for new things to come through. Sometimes we have to shed, I want to say dead weight. And it's not that if it's people that we're shedding, it's not that they're no good or there is anything bad about them. It's that our time together has come to an end because this transition needs to happen. Nourishment, health, and nutrition. Your guides are gently encouraging you to make healthier lifestyle choices. When you take good care of your body, your outlook and self-esteem naturally blossoms. Make sure you are taking care of yourself. It's very easy, especially when we're stressed and when we're going through things and when we're in transition periods to let the self-care that we know we need to be implementing in our own lives to let that go. The best way to build these transitions is to take care of ourselves, to give ourselves the best possible platform to leap off, to give ourselves the best foundation to build upon. And if you are not in a good space physically, you are not going to be in a good space mentally. And it just makes everything that much more difficult. When you are centered, when you are grounded, when you are healthy, when you are having regular movement in terms of exercise, whether it be walking or you're doing yoga or you're going to the gym, when you're doing things that nourish your body, you are nourishing your soul. And that will not only keep you in a healthy space generally, it will make it easier to focus. It will make it easier to ground yourself and it will make it easier to let go of fear. It will make it easier to move through this transition completely unencumbered. And the final card from the messages from Spirit Oracle is overthinking, fixation, and obsession. Overanalyzing situations won't bring you closer to the answers you seek. Instead, it hinders your ability to notice new opportunities that emerge along the way. Loosen your grip. Oh, loosen the grip you have on that outcome. So are you obsessing over, well, are you obsessing over the people and things that are holding you back? Are you obsessing over the picture that you have for how this has to play out? Because let me tell you, the universe laughs when you make plans. If you had have asked me how my life would look when I was moving over here, it is completely different to how it actually looks. With that being said, life is amazing. I have no complaints. I'm really happy in everything that I'm doing. It's just that it turned out differently. And that's okay. And part of the reason why things are good and things are moving along the way they are is because I released the vision of how I thought it had to play out. When everything closed down in 2020 and, I was sitting around like everybody else. I mean, I was outside walking a lot, but essentially we're sitting there just wasting time. We can't do anything because nothing is open. And different opportunities popped up, and I said yes to them all. And some of them I sort of said, I'm saying yes, but I have no business in doing this. And they just went, it's fine, let's go. And those pivotal moments, those saying yes to things that I did not think would work for me or serve me, served me so incredibly well and led me on a path that led to some of my closest friendships, my current relationship, all these different things. Had I stayed fixated on how it was meant to play out, I would have missed all of those opportunities. So just let go, don't fixate. And it's good to have a vision because you need to have an idea of where it is you want to go. Just be open to it looking a little different to how you picture it. Be open to the journey not looking the same. And we are finishing with one card from the Rainbow Oracle. Creative soul. You are highly intuitive. You are a highly intuitive, artistic being. Give give form to your imagination and explore your creative expression. So it's time to tap into exactly what it is you want to create. And if you have a look at this imagery, look at the color coming out of her third eye. I'm trying to get it to focus. It is about creating the ultimate life that you want this month. And I think to get there, it's giving yourself credit for how far you've come versus sitting there saying, oh, I'm not getting anywhere, because absolutely you are. The other part of it is it's opening your mind to other possibilities, other people around you. And it's about releasing. It's about releasing the fear. It's about releasing the fear of what it is you're creating. It's about releasing the fear of letting go of the things and the people and the situations that no longer serve you. It's it's about trusting the endings that are coming in, which are going to help you grow. I think this I think if you're hanging on to fear, this may sound like a scary reading, but ultimately, I actually think this is an incredibly positive reading. You're in a really great space to be able to create exactly what it is you want, providing you're ready to stand up and take it. So, moving on to pile number 2, which was our Shungite. I'm just knocking things over here. Okay, so card number 1 from the Future Higher Self deck. Uproot your life and leave all that is familiar to you. Okay, that's a pretty big statement to start off. So we are going to look at the next card just to get a bit of clarity. You're creating a you that you will be proud of. Okay, so you are ready for change. You are so ready for change. There's something you've been wanting to do for a while, and this month the calling is going to be so strong that I don't think you're really going to have a choice, but to lean into it and step into it. And understand that if uproot your life and leave all that is familiar to you. I mean, it might be leaving a job, it might be leaving a home, a living situation, maybe you're leaving a relationship. Whatever it is that is there and familiar but isn't feeding your soul, it's time. It's time to let that go. Now, sometimes you can start the process and it doesn't happen immediately, but just know that in order to create the version of you that you know exists within you, you have to let go. Learn how to honor and treat your body well. If you have been drinking too much, overeating, maybe just not moving at all, it is time to get back to that and to make sure that you are taking very good care of yourself. There seems to be a theme this week because I just talked about it when I was talking about pile one. When you take good care of yourself, and especially when you're in transition, it's very easy to let the self-care that you know you need to give yourself to let it go. But when you are taking good care of yourself, when you are eating well, when you are moving, when you are keeping the environment around you clean and tidy, it is easier to function in this world. It gives you a stronger foundation to build on. It gives you more energy to move through the world. So this is also getting enough sleep, going to bed early enough, sleeping in pure darkness. That has absolutely changed my life and how I function for the better. So make sure you are doing all of that. And if you don't know how, start researching. Look at the little things. If you know your diet's not right, go and look into what it is you can shift and change to make that better. Maybe it's just going, right, I need to move. So I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'll go for a 20-minute walk. Just doing all those little things to help serve you and create a better space for you to grow from there. You're a lot tougher than you think you are. I think you want to create the you that you know exists inside of you and that you would be proud of. But leaving what is familiar to you is terrifying. And so this is why you need to remember that you are a lot tougher than you think that you are. And whenever we're going through things, we always feel weak because we can feel the emotions flowing through us. We can feel how we're being affected and how we're being rocked by everything. And in those moments, we question whether we have any strength or whether we are tough at all. And the reality is, not giving up is a strength. Continuing to move forward and continuing to push towards our ultimate goal is an incredible strength. And you have to give yourself credit for that, and you have to recognize that. The end of a tough cycle is finally approaching. So I feel like all of this, if you're not uprooting and leaving the things that aren't serving you yet, you will be soon. The end of the cycle is coming. So you are stuck in something, but you know the end is coming. And this is why you need to remember that you are a lot tougher than you think that you are. Endings are always difficult. It doesn't matter whether you've prompted the ending, whether somebody else has prompted the ending, whether it be work, romantic, a family relationship, anything like that. It's always difficult, but you are strong enough to get through, and the you that is going to come out the other side is going to be phenomenal. She's a unicorn. So just know that that exists and that you are getting there. And if you are struggling, this is what you need to think about and what you need to remember. So we're moving on to messages from Spirit Oracle, which is another Mahrukh deck. Provocation, anger and annoyance. Discover how to turn your anger into a powerful ally. Explore methods to express your emotions constructively and convert your anger into a driving force for empowerment and motivation. For me personally, whenever I hit roadblocks and people would say no to me, I would sit there and go, thank you. And that no was enough to push me to prove them wrong. If you are angry at someone, I know there can sometimes be the desire to get even, to be petty. It's not about that. It's about, and I know it sucks when people say, oh, take the high road. The reality is, you being petty is you lowering your vibration. It is you sinking to their level. Where there is anger, you need to turn it into a positive force. You need to turn it into determination to get you to the next point. You need to turn it into motivation to keep going. You need to turn it into, this is freeing me to go and do exactly what I need to do. So just make sure this month that if you feel yourself being triggered, take it, but recognize that you have the ability to turn something negative into a positive. Celestial assistance, divine support, and fated events. There is something that is being destined to be yours and yours alone. Trust in the power of divine forces to gently guide you towards where you should be. Stick with it and see where it takes you. This card always makes me think of Christmas. You see the stars lighting the way and the wise man there. I th- Everything does happen for a reason. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and you have to remember that. When all of these things are happening, whether it's having to let go of something, someone, a situation, whether it's people pissing you off and making you feel that rage and you're thinking, why is this happening to me? Understand that all of this is about teaching you a lesson and giving you the strength that you are going to need moving forward. I know that when we're going through big transitions like this, it can feel like we are all alone and there is no support, but know that this is happening. It is divinely guided and it is for a purpose. And again, all of it is to get you to this space. When I was going through that abusive relationship, I didn't understand. I didn't understand how I got in that position. And now, if you ask me, would I want to go through it again? Absolutely not. But if I could go back and change it, would I? The answer is no. Going through that experience, as traumatic as it was, and it was ultimately 3 years of my life that that relationship sort of consumed, it altered who I was as a person. And it did it for the better. And so, no, I wouldn't change it because of who it made me on the other side. So, whatever it is you're going through, it is building you up in a really positive way, providing you don't let the anger take a hold. And the reason you don't want to let the anger take hold is because you want to become the unicorn. You want to become that free spirit that other people can't control, that is unstoppable, that is filled with light. And you're going to get there. You just need to finish through and finish this cycle. And the final message from Spirit is mentor, teacher, and wise counsel. Your ancestors no longer want you to walk this path alone. They are guiding you to connect with the right people who can provide valuable support as you navigate through the next chapter of your adventure. So they're going to put people in your path that can help you, that can guide you, that will aid in your growth. And some of these people will be around for a long time. Some of them will be around just for a short period of time to help get you through to the other side. So know that there is so much guidance and so much assistance for you as you're navigating all of this. So I was pulling one card from the Rainbow Oracle for each of the three piles. Two jumped out for you guys, so we're going to have a look at both of them. Karma cleanse. Liberate yourself from karmic patterns of the past. Live a life of creative choice. So once again, if you look at the unicorn, the horn is coming out of her third eye. You have a look at this. Her third eye is all lit up. This is all about seeing exactly where it is you need to go. And all of this, the end of the tough cycle, everything that's going on, knowing that you're tougher than you think you are, this is all about ending these patterns and cycles. And part of that is uprooting your life and moving away from the things that you're familiar with because they are not serving you. They are not helping you grow. So just know that all of this is wonderful, wonderful stuff. Getting away from the abusive ex, it was traumatic, but it was the most freeing thing in the entire world. And life instantly changed. My vibration instantly changed. So just know that that is happening for you. And the final card from this deck is moving on. Step with courage into a new phase of life. Look back only to see how far you've come. It's time to be that free spirit, to be the bird flying high into the sunset and moving through this world the way you want to and the way you were born to do it. So whatever lesson it is that you were meant to learn, you've learnt it. It's time to let go and step into this next chapter where you can feel peace and strength and freedom. As you navigate this, know that you are completely supported. And I am so excited for all of you that picked pile number 2 for what lays ahead. And now moving on to pile number 3, which is the granite, if this is the pile that you selected. So starting with the future higher self, life will be a roller coaster ride. Life will be a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride and stop trying to be in control. Time to enjoy the ups and downs and the wild ride that life puts in front of you. Be willing to let go of everything you once thought to be true. So this is why we're being told that life will be a roller coaster and to enjoy the ride. We can go in with very fixed views of how we think life is meant to be. We definitely think this is fact and this is how everything has to play out and this is how the world is. But sometimes when you open your mind and you are able to let go and release the need to be right, release the need to know exactly what's coming around the corner, everything can change. Perspectives can change. So just be very open to that this month. I feel like there's going to be information coming in that you didn't necessarily expect. And there is going to be a shift in your thinking that you never saw coming. It's okay to be different. Don't try so hard to fit in. We always get told this when we're at school, and then we spend our entire time at school, or most people do, trying to fit in, trying to be liked versus being the weird kid because it's uncomfortable and kids are mean and they say things, and then that carries on into our adult life as we have to move into the workforce, as you know, social media has shifted things and everybody wants to be accepted and have the most likes and followers and all this stuff. The reality is the people that are the most successful are because they embrace their weirdness. They embrace exactly who they are. when I think of this, I think of Theo Von for some reason, and I find him really funny. He's not someone I actually watch, but when I see clips of him, I always smile because he's just so himself. Watching him interview JD Vance, who is the Vice President of the United States, and some of the off the wall things that this man says to JD Vance, I'm like, where does he come up with this? But I love that there's no filter, and that is why he has the following that he has. So if you, I feel like if you've picked this reading, are you someone who's been very buttoned up and maybe you know there's a part of yourself that you want to let go? You want to let that freak flag fly, but you're afraid of what everybody around you will think. It's time to embrace the freak, let it out, and let the chips fall where they may. And let me tell you, the right people will love you and embrace you, and the ones that don't, they're not your people. I had two conversations earlier today with two separate girlfriends, and it was interesting that there was a theme playing out, and it was both of them talking about the friendships that we have. And the reason that these friendships are so incredibly important to both of us is because whenever we speak, we never have to censor ourselves. We never have to pretend we think or feel something that we don't. The conversations are authentic. We can be who we are. We can say what we need to say, and we can we can be so freaking weird, and there's never any judgment. If we make bad decisions in life and relationships, we'll tell each other if we think that a mistake is being made, but we will support and love them regardless. There is no judgment attached to anything. And this is how I know I found my people. This is how I found my circle. It was being myself and trusting that the right people would find me. So just know this month that if that freak is trying to jump out and say hey to the world, let it out. Following your heart will lead to the right things. So to me, that's confirmation of everything that I just said. Because in your heart of hearts, you know who you are and you know who you want to be. And again, the first two cards in this reading, it's all about letting go of control. Letting go of control, because none of us really have control in this life. Continue to make the most of every open door. So I think a lot of this shift will come from a door that is opened or that presents itself to you, and then it becomes a decision as to whether you stay the buttoned up version of you that is socially acceptable, that will continue just on the path that you're on. And it's not that it's bad, but is it going to lead to the best possible version of you and the best possible life that you could live? Or are you going to step through the doors, fly the flag, and get to all the right things? So this is your choice this month. Moving on to messages from Spirit Oracle, which is another Mahrukh deck. Wheel of Returns, Resurrection and Renewal. A hope or dream that appeared to be doomed to fail, or a partnership that seemed lost, will not transpire as you had believed. What was lost will be returned to you in a new way or form. Whenever we're in a position where we have to let go of something, and there is the saying, if you love something, set it free. If it returns, it was always meant to be. If it doesn't, it was never yours to begin with. It is so incredibly true. So this is, and it makes sense that this is when it's happening. We have Mercury retrograde at the moment. We also have Saturn and Neptune that are both retrograde. So being in retrograde season, it makes sense that things are coming back from the past, but know that the things that you truly let go of and trusted that if they were meant for you, they would come back, they absolutely will. And look, sometimes when things come back, we go, don't want that. And if that's the case, that's fine. But then that gives you clarity. It gives you the answer that you needed so that you then have the ability to have closure on whatever that is, and then move forward. Reunion, gathering reconciliation and meet. One or more people from your past are entering your life. These are souls with whom are coming back to aid in learning, spark a necessary change, or partake in deep moments of joy. So there's definitely things coming back from the past. This retrograde seems to be affecting you in a much deeper way than the other readings that I've done for August of 2025. So, like I said, sometimes when these people and things come back from the past, it's to give us clarity. It's to give us the answers that we needed. It's to give us closure. Earlier this year, I was going through something, and it was when there were a lot of retrogrades happening as well. And as a result of what I was going through, something from my past came back up, and it led to a very profound conversation that I had let go of ever having. I really didn't think there would ever be a conversation around this past situation. And it came up literally out of nowhere, and it was one of the most cathartic conversations I think I've ever had in my life. And I will forever be grateful for that conversation. It didn't mean there was anything moving forward, but what it meant was there was clarity for everybody involved. And so just know that this is a month where some things may come back for incredible experiences and joy and wonderful things. And maybe it was just the time was needed for personal growth to be able to come back together. But if it's just that these people or situations are coming back to give closure so that you can move forward and grow, that is just as wonderful. And then oh, no, okay, we've got another card after this one. Better not to know. Surprise, not meant to know. Have faith in the universe and avoid relying solely on your own understanding. Your guides have chosen to withdraw information for now as you are not prepared to receive all the answers. So this goes back to these first two cards. Life will be a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride and stop trying to be in control, and be willing to let go of everything you once thought to be true. It's called divine timing for a reason. We get the answers and we get the responses that we need in the moment that we need them. That conversation that I just referenced, I don't know that it would have been helpful having it any earlier than what I did. But in that moment that I found myself in with this other person and the conversation that took place, there was so much healing. And I don't know that the conversation ever could have happened prior to that to create that same situation. So just know that divine timing is real. And if you're not meant to know something, you're not going to get the answers. And especially during retrograde season, you don't always get the information that you necessarily want. Okay, so the final one from the deck messages from Spirit, Flower Child, peaceful time, simplicity. A quiet mind, a content heart, without longing and fulfillment of the soul leads to peace. Peel away the non-essential to reveal what's truly important, to find joy in the ordinary. So I think this is part of releasing control. It's about realizing what's important. It's about realizing that having control over everything is not going to serve you. It's not what's important in this moment. It's about freedom in who you are, freedom in what you choose to do in this life, freedom in how you choose to move through this life. And once you simplify and let go of all of these things, the universe will come in and give you the things that you do need. And the final card that we're pulling from the Rainbow Oracle is Artisan. The resourceful, self-made artisan brings attention to detail and follows through to the best of his ability. So you can see there his third eye is open and he's there to take care of everything. You are taken care of. And this is why it's so important that you release control. I feel like the artisan card for you is about knowing that you are protected and that there is somebody looking out for you. By releasing control, you will have these things that are meant for you come back into your life. By releasing the control, you will start to see joy in the things, the simple things in life, and the things that truly bring joy to this world. Um, yeah, I really feel this is more about having someone take care of you and knowing that all those little details are taken care of and thought about. And that's why you don't need to. You don't need to. So I hope you are able to release the freak. Um, really enjoy this month. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's summer, it's a great time. It's warm, the sun is shining, and it's a great time to get out and just enjoy life, be social, and be really present in the day to day and just release that feeling or that need to control everything and know that everything is already taken care of. And take the opportunities that present themselves to you. Don't be afraid of stepping through those doors and really embracing a new chapter where you get to be you and you get to be free. Have a wonderful August, everybody. If you haven't already, check out the weekly reading. It was incredibly powerful on Monday when I did it. Join Anne and I on Friday for Gemini Rising with medium Mary Elizabeth. Really looking forward to that. And don't forget, we have Jasmine Safi coming up on the 13th. All right. Have a wonderful August, everybody. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person.